Everyone thinks the Nighthawk M6 Pro is the ultimate pocket fiber, but here is the thing. Do not buy it until you hear what I ran into, because the surprising truth is that this device is brilliant and broken at the same time depending on heat, carrier bands, and how you power it. Netgear promises Wi-Fi 6E up to 3.6 Gbps, mmWave 5G, a 2.5G Ethernet port, and up to 32 devices. Sounds flawless, right? Yet the Amazon rating sits at 3.6 stars for a reason. I spent 3 weeks testing an AT&T unlocked M6 Pro with a nano SIM across AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile in downtown, suburban, and travel scenarios, logging temps, speeds, and battery drain. What I discovered turned my recommendation upside down. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick note, if you are already considering the M6 Pro, I have the best current price linked below. But stick around, because how you plan to use this little box could make or break your experience and your wallet. I needed something better than a phone hotspot. I work from Airbnbs, coffee shops, and a small RV. Zoom calls dropping and uploads crawling were sabotaging my day. I tried cheaper LTE hotspots. Great in theory, disappointing in practice. So when I saw the M6 Pro with the Qualcomm X65, a 2.8-inch touch LCD, Wi-Fi 6E, and up to 32 devices, I thought, this could finally be that portable, dependable pipe. The price I saw, around $167.99 on Amazon at the time, looked like a steal compared to what it launched for, but I was skeptical. Marketing always shows perfect lab conditions. I wanted to know, in the wild, could this replace unstable coffee shop Wi-Fi and survive a day of heavy use without frying itself or my patience? Test 1. Downtown AT&T 5G Plus with mmWave nodes in sight. On screen, I show the M6 Pro pegged near a window. First run, 1.2 to 1.5 Gbps down, 90 to 120 Mbps up, 18 to 22 ms latency. Impressive, but then after about 90 seconds, the unit got hot to the touch. The 5040 mAh battery was draining fast and the screen threw a thermal icon. Speeds fell off a cliff to sub-6 levels, hovering 250 to 400 Mbps. I pulled the battery, switched to AC power with the built-in battery bypass mode, and it stabilized. Lesson 1. mmWave is real, but only in short bursts unless you power and cool this thing properly. Test 2. Suburban C-band on Verizon, and this is where most people will live. With N77 coverage, I saw consistent 300 to 650 Mbps down, 40 to 90 up, 20 to 40 ms latency. Over Wi-Fi 6E, my laptop's local link to the router hit over 1 Gbps easily, so the LAN side is fast. But the Ethernet story was mixed. The 2.5G port is there, yet real-world WAN throughput rarely broke a gig due to the cellular link being the bottleneck. IP pass-through worked after a reboot, but I ran into double NAT until I toggled it off and back on. Gamers, NAT type could be strict until you fine-tune. Once dialed in, it was solid. Test 3. T-Mobile. Here is where the spec sheet matters. The AT&T unlocked M6 Pro variant I tested supports N77 and N78, but not T-Mobile's key N41 mid-band. Yes, it connected, but performance took a hit. I saw low-band 5G and LTE most of the time with 50 to 150 Mbps down, completely usable for email and streaming, but not what you buy a Pro-class hotspot for. If your main carrier is T-Mobile and you rely on N41, this is a mismatch. Test 4. Battery life, thermals, and Wi-Fi. With a mix of 10 to 15 devices, 2 Zoom calls, and a couple of 4K streams, I averaged 4 to 6 hours on battery. The 6 GHz band is fantastic for clean spectrum, but it is usually disabled on battery to save power and reduce heat. I had to be on AC to enable Wi-Fi 6E reliably. The guest Wi-Fi privacy separation worked as advertised. Netgear says up to 32 devices, but at around 20 clients I started noticing occasional buffer spikes until I connected the 2.5G port to my main router and let that handle distribution. Bonus, adding an external MIMO antenna at a window bumped signal quality and boosted sub-6 speeds by 15 to 30%. Here is where it gets interesting. The most surprising discovery was that the M6 Pro is a fantastic 5G modem when treated less like a pocket hotspot and more like a plug-in 5G gateway. On AC power, battery removed, next to a window and N77 coverage, and feeding a real router from the 2.5G port, It gave me a rock-solid 350 to 550 Mbps down, 50 to 100 up, with sub-30 ms latency most of the workday. No mid-call thermal throttling, no random Wi-Fi hiccups because my mesh did the heavy lifting. If you live or travel where AT&T or Verizon C-band is strong, this thing can absolutely replace flaky coffee shop Wi-Fi and even serve as a home or RV backup internet. But as a toss-it-in-the-bag all-day battery hotspot that will deliver gigabit everywhere, not so much. Thermal limits kick in under mmWave. Battery life is good, not great when you push it. And that Amazon 3.6-star reality makes sense. The experience swings wildly based on carrier bands and how you power it. Also, watch the variant. Listings say unlocked and compatible with most carriers, but band support matters. Without N41, T-Mobile performance lags. The 3.6 Gbps Wi-Fi spec refers to local Wi-Fi throughput, not the internet pipe. And while the 2.5G Ethernet port is awesome, your cellular link will almost always be the ceiling. Now that you know the sweet spot, get the right setup and the right return policy. I have the best current price linked below. If you plan to run it on AC near a window on AT&T or Verizon C-band, grab it. If you are T-Mobile first, check the band support before you click buy. Bottom line: do not buy the Nighthawk M6 Pro for the hype. Buy it if you need a small 5G gateway on AT&T or Verizon, can power it on AC, and want to feed a home or RV router through that 2.5G port. Skip it if you live on T-Mobile N41, expect pocketable gigabit all day, or need cool, silent operation in a hot car. Used right, it is a sleeper hit. Used wrong, it is an expensive frustration. The truth is simple: match the bands, manage the heat, and it shines. Otherwise, keep scrolling.